of the Basement Podcast. Um, this is going to be a good one today. Definitely going to be a great discussion today. We're going to tap in a little deep today, but I think it'll be cool. Hey, feel free to leave some comments in the chat as we discuss. But for the most part, we're going to get started. All right. I'm going to try to keep it to 30, but I really can't promise you that. This is one of those topics where this could last a little over 30 minutes, but hopefully I can keep it there. So let me stop rambling. Let me get started. And as I always do when I get started, special shout out to all my friends, families, associates, and most importantly, let's give a shout out to the haters because the haters are everywhere, right? And without them, there is no me or any of us, right? We need them haters straight up. So welcome to the Basement Park, the Basement Talk Podcast. It's your crazy boy B Jennings. And it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be able to connect with all of you again and again and again throughout these episodes. So I'm glad you tuned in to today's episode because today is going to be a good one. Today we're talking about real life situations. Um, I'm going to open up a little bit on this topic because it definitely touched home for me, and it probably will touch home for a few of you that can connect to the topics that I'm getting ready to discuss tonight. Um, you know, I'll be expressing some feelings and talking about some situations I have experienced. Um, a lot of times we find ourselves stuck in this phase in life. Uh, just dealing with real life situations. And a lot of people aren't built for that, right? Things hit them, and you can easily slip into like depression, sickness, things like that, because life will kick you in your throat. Life will definitely kick you in your throat, and I'm gonna be completely honest when I say this too. And I'm careful how I say things because I don't want to ever offend anybody. This is not that type of party. Um, but I'm gonna be completely honest when I say this. I don't pretend to understand the meaning of mental illness because I don't. I really don't. I'm no doctor. I'm no therapist. I have no training in that area whatsoever, and I'm not going to pretend like I do. Right? I'm not going to pretend at all. But let me tell you this: I strongly do believe that at some point in our lives, all of us, all of us, have experienced some part of depression. Right. I really think that. I think all of us experience that because again, life kicks us in the throat. It really do. It kicks us in our throat. Um, the world in general is a hard place to grow, provide, survive, and understand. So, let's take a step back. Hear me out. I'm gonna jump right into um, my episode today, and we're gonna go from there. All right, we're gonna go from there. So check it out. Let's jump right into it. So the topic today is real life situations. So since I'm being real, and like I always say, this is a real podcast. Um, you know, this is you know, there's no sugarcoating in this. This is straight 100 for me, and I do this for me, right? I do this for me so I can be a voice for other people, and hopefully you get something out of this, and that's real. My life, even up until this day, has many ups and downs. Straight up. What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining in. Thanks for joining in. It has many ups and downs. Um, let's just say there's been plenty of times where I had to restart all over, whether it's relationships, jobs, friends, environment, etc. All these things require me to regroup and refresh and deal with real life situations, right? And so now I know that's not the easiest thing to do, right? Not everyone was built like me, came from the same background I came from, experienced the things I did in regards to just dealing with real life situations. But in general, we practice these things daily, right? Um, we got to face whatever hits us in the mouth daily, right? But everybody ain't built to take on those challenges, right? Some folks, though, can live with no worries. And dang, I wish. I wish I could live with no worries. And whoever can live with no worries, please give me the special potion so I can so I can get some of that so I can live with no worries. But for the most part, hey, it's there. Everybody live with these worries, no doubt about it. Um, let me be a little bit more transparent though while I'm explaining this, because I'm a believer in God, right? Through Him I can operate. So I truly believe in Him first in order to believe in myself and take on life. But I do speak today knowing that not everybody operate through God like me, and that's totally fine. And I respect that. I would never force anyone to accept my beliefs in my religion, and I'll never judge you for whatever you have or whatever you believe in. That's just not this type of party, right? That's just what I do and what works for me, right? I mentioned this before. That's my special resource that I go to. So that's just what I stick with, right? And that works for me. I don't know, like this. I believe this topic stretches so far that we can talk on this forever, right? And again, I mentioned, well, I only want 30 minutes of this, but I believe we can talk on this topic forever. But we're only gonna tackle a few topics today. We're gonna tackle parenting, environment, and friends and family, right? Friends and family. So stick with me. Stick with me. So our first topic we're discussing today is parenting. I chose this topic because I have had many setbacks as a parent, right? Trying to be the best parent I can be. Over the years, I really had to evaluate my own life, as well as myself, right? I had to evaluate my life, and then like everything going around me, and then sit back and ask myself, like, what type of parent am I? So, I really had to sit back and think a little bit. I was always the one that wanted to just be the good dad to my kids. My whole life, I struggled with trust issues. So I always wanted my kids to know that I was here for them, and when no one else was, right? I wanted them to know that, you know, that they didn't have to go anywhere else to seek that support. Now, I grew up with my parents not being together, which is totally okay. A lot of people do. That's life. No shade to my mother and my father. I love them both. All, all, all my parents did, and when I mean like all they did, meaning like my mother, my father, my stepfather, stepmother, they did the best they could do at that time, right? I just always wanted to be connected at all times with my children based off how I grew up. So it was just something in my head, even as a younger child, that I always wanted to do and be a part of. So that's why I beat myself up a little bit, because I always want to be the bigger parent, right? I'm not saying I competed with the other parent. I'm just saying I wanted to be the best parent that I can possibly be to my children. But reality kicked in, right? And we're gonna go a little deep. This is actually a very hard discussion for me, but it's something that needs to be talked about. So, reality kicked in, and so no sugarcoating at all when I say this, but my kids grew up the same way as I did, as far as not having that mother and dad in the same household at all times. And because of that, this made me it made it extremely hard for me to keep a positive relationship with the kids, right? I don't know. Again, this is just a little touchy for me, right? But you know, as much as I didn't want my kids to grow up like me, I put them in the same position as I grew up, right? And so mom and dad was not in the same household to raise the kids. Now let me say this right now. We've done a great job raising the kids. They're healthy, they're smart, they're beautiful. I love them to death. But as far as growing up, they grew up just like I did. And that's something that I never wanted to happen. But because of that, it made it extremely hard for them to have a positive relationship with me. And I had to believe in myself that I can continue to support and love my children, uh, and that I'm there at all times, no matter what. And here's the reality in all this, right? You're gonna miss the hugs. You're gonna miss that shoulder that they can cry on. That's supposed to be there. The urgent conversations, boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever, work, right? The conversations that you want your children to talk to you about when they need you, right? Important events, and just watching them grow, right? Just watching them grow up. Just watching them grow up is crucial, right? It's crucial. It's critical. But here, this is where I trust and I believe in God, and that kicked in, right? I really had to ask God, yo, please help me out, right? Help me get through the hard times because I cherish my kids. There were times they didn't understand why, but I had to still let them know that everything will be all right. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. This is a basement podcast. I'm not streaming from prison. No, 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 no. That's not how we roll. But that's funny though. I appreciate that. That kind of threw a little laugh in there. But Sean, I hear you. God is awesome, Dan. God is so good. I promise you. I promise you that. Um, right, for sure. Right. I used to battle this heartache and pain alone. I never showed my kids the downside of all this, right? Now, let me tell you this before I move on. This is, and I got to say this before I call them the haters. The haters get to talking crazy. I'm not even close or have a thought of bashing my kid's mother or none of this, right? No names, no excuses will ever come from none of this, right? This is not that type of party, right? I have too much respect for my children, number one, and too much respect for their moms, right? So no, that's not how we roll over here, right? I don't have those type of issues, and I won't start them neither. So that's not this type of party. So if you think you came here to look for that, right? You can just go kick rocks because that ain't gonna come over here, right? Again, not that type of party. And I had to say that because I know people can easily turn this around, and you gotta remember this is live stream, right? I don't want nobody leaving here going, oh man, Brian was just bashing people online. That's not what I do. Nope. This podcast is strictly for me, and that's how I'm leaving it. So that's the way we're gonna roll with it, right? So good luck with that. Okay, now I can get back to my party, right? This is my type of party. Um, this is deep though. There was even a small part, right? A small time where I lost the communication with my children, and I really went into a dark place. So I prayed, and I had family support. I had a family support team that helped me get back on track, and I believed in myself with God that I'll never give up on being the best parent, and that I can be, right? So that was major for me. So I had to go through something to realize that, it's going to be all right. And it brought me right back around. And I can proudly say that we are on a great track with communication and enjoying each other company. I love them, oldest to youngest, right? They all act like me, so that's crazy. We got personalities. I love it, right? I love it. And I love them, again, from the oldest to the youngest. It's the best feeling in the world to knowing that I'm dad and the kids know who I am and what I stand for. And I hope many of you can come to terms or realize that you definitely are important even in the dark times, right? Because I had to realize that and put some thought into that and just trust and believe that I can make it because the kids need me, right? So I truly believe I got the best kids in the world. That's me. Say what you want, but my kids are better than yours, and I'll leave it just like that. Now let's move on to the next topic. But that last topic is touching a little bit only because that was something that really kind of touched me a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And like I tell you, God is good. Daniel said it. God is good, and He really had His hand on me to make me come out of that dark place to make sure that the kids had the dad that they need. You know what I'm saying? And we still growing. No one's perfect here. No one's perfect, but we still are growing. Um, I'm gonna encourage everyone who doesn't have a connection with your children, please do so. Please do so. It's important, right? All right, I got that one out the way. I had to start with that one because I don't know how I would have ended, but I started with that one so I can get that one out the way. But check this out though. The next topic we're covering is our environment, right? I really like this topic because I know where I came from. I know what I've been through to get to where I'm at today. Those changes included location, people, and my so-called friends, right? Environment ties all into this, right? As we grow and we find ways of making moves, we as we grow, we find ways of making moves that's not only beneficial to you, but it's also beneficial to the family, right? It should be very beneficial for your family, especially the ones that's your support team. So you got to make moves to keep y'all together. I currently right now stay in the area. And let's just say that you wouldn't expect me to stay, right? I should say others wouldn't expect me to stay, right? And I don't know about all of you, but when somebody tell me that I'm not supposed to do this, or I'm not supposed to have this based off of a color or where I came from, I'm making my duty to do the complete opposite of what you tell me that I can't do. It's a mind game that I have for myself. I play with myself. It's a mind game, right? I turn it into a competitive thing, right? And for me, that's a good thing because I like to beat the odds and I like to prove people wrong, but I don't owe anybody an explanation. I don't have to prove anything to anybody, but it's a mind game I play with myself because I want to let you know that you can make it wherever you want to make it at. Just hold on to that a little bit, right? See, some folks used to hang out with, have no ambition to conquer success. They'll always block your advancement in life. Some of them cats, they don't change, right? They stay the same. They don't believe that there's hope and opportunities for them or you, right? I had to trust and believe that, you know what, change would be the best thing for me, right? I can no longer hang out with the people that I used to run the streets with. Hell, we can all do bad by ourselves with no explanation, with no extra help needed. Like we we can just mess up. We don't need no group of people to do that or a different type of environment. We can mess up all on our own, right? So I don't need any help doing that. I remember when I always thought, man, I had to be where the action was. Otherwise I was gonna be missing out. Like I don't want to miss out on nothing. I want to be in the mix, And the older I got, I realized that I really wasn't missing nothing. I really was just wasting the time that I could have spent, that I could have poured back into my family, or other important things around me. Not to mention how much blown money that was left out there, right? We just do some of the stupidest things just trying to be cool, right? And even to this day, I mean, I'm 44 years old. People still trying to impress other people just to be in the mix, to be in that part of that environment. But for what though? What does it do to you in the long run? What does it do for you? Is that part of growth? I guess I don't get it. And I was too young back then to understand it, right? I was just trying to flow with traffic. And that traffic was leading me to some crashes. Just being honest, right? So when I made up my mind to just go cold turkey, it wasn't the easiest thing to do, but it was the right thing to do. I had to believe that God would change my desired atmosphere, right? And don't get me wrong, I love being around people and partying, but to do it all the time just wasn't the best environment to be in. It really wasn't. When I made that change, my focus changed. So now I was caring more about family things, and my so-called friends used to be like, "B, you're a homebody now." At that time, I thought, man, I was strong enough to take on the pressure, but I still was like, man, I still can go kick it. You know, I didn't want people to think that I was a soft dude and I couldn't handle it. You know what I mean? Um, well, in order to change, I had to ignore phone calls, end friendships, distant myself from close people in order to trust my process. Right. And that's a hard thing to do because when you raised up in an environment, sometimes that's the only environment that you know. Um, so to distance yourself from the environment that you're accustomed to, that's not the easiest thing to do. It really isn't. Um, it take a lot of self control, and some setbacks, right? To distance yourself, to seek change, right? Once you change your eyes open, though, you really see who's important to you, and people will always have something to say. Man, I used to have family members say, "Oh, you forgot about your family," or your friends make comments about being a square. Um, I believed in myself and the process enough to take on the scrutiny. And at that time, I really felt like I let people down, and I was just tripping. But it was just the right thing to do. It was just the right thing to do. Um, Now I live quietly, and I can do what I want when I want, how I feel, and not feel some type of way about it or feel pressured into anything. I realize that people no longer contact me like when I live closer to them. Right? It was a convenient thing because I live closer, but now I don't live as close, and so like people don't contact me, which is totally fine. Right? They don't go out their way to come see you. They don't even ask to come chill. Right? Um, so really, how important were you at that time you thought you was needed? So you wanted to be in an environment that really didn't need you, but you felt like in order to be accepted, you need to be in that environment. But they really don't care nothing about you. I don't know. Does that make sense to some of y'all? Did that make sense? Like a lot of people, like for example, um, we always want to be where the big crowds at until they start shooting in the crowd. Now, don't nobody in that crowd care about you. Everybody running. How important are you? Right? That's a deep way of thinking it, but that's pretty much how it is. You think you need to be there, but do you really? No. You in control. It make you think, don't it? Just a little bit. It made me think. Because I believe in myself in the process of change, my environment went from negative to positive real quick. Um, I could care less what you say about me being somewhere or not. It's my choice, and your opinion really don't matter. Your opinion don't matter. Um, I'm just at peace at whatever I do. And nowadays, I go alone. I go out, so I don't have no baggage, and I come and go as I please. It's the easiest, safest environment I could be in. Right? Nobody ain't telling you you need to be here, and you ain't gotta worry about nothing else. Right? And you, like I said, you can make bad choices and decisions on your own. You don't need a group of people, friends, family, or whoever, to just egg you on to keep making those bad choices. So I had to change my environment. Cool. I feel that. Feel that. Basically, in a nutshell, I'm responsible for my own environment, and I'm in control of everything. As should all of you be in control of everything that's going on around you, and what you bring into your circle. Right, you're in complete control of that. Man, I'm doing pretty good on time. I swear this will go longer than 30 minutes, but I might just a little bit, right? We getting ready to hit this last topic. So this last topic, now this one may touch home a little bit, right? And if it do, it's okay. It really is. It really is okay. I'm okay with it, and that's all that matters because this is my podcast. Ha ha. Right? Therapy for Brian. Right? And I'm just here to help somebody else. But on the serious note, the last topic we're talking about right now is friends and family. Right? And I appreciate you guys, Daniel, Sean. There's a couple more other people that Landros, Kira, I think that's who it is. Thank you guys for joining in. I really appreciate you tuning in and listening. The last topic we're going to touch on is family and friends, right? Family and friends. I'm going to take it there. I'm going to really take it there, this last topic. I spoke on change in environment, which sometimes include family and friends. But I'm just going to dive in just a little deeper on this topic. And not for long, just enough so I can get a point across, right? And I really want to get a point across right now, right? Just for the record, I'm going to sound like a jerk. But just for the record, if you're a family member or a so-called friend that don't like what I'm about to say, this is your opportunity right now to just stop listening to my podcast, right? You don't have to listen to this episode, or you can just stop listening to my podcast. Like, I'm okay, right? Because I'm only going to speak the truth, right? I don't send me a text message about what I said or what I've done. Right now, it's about me and not about you. And I wish a lot of other people would think like that, right? Because it'll help them grow as a person instead of worrying about what somebody else gonna say or do to them, right? Sometimes people got to get cut off, or you just got to ignore these people around you. So with that being said, right? You know, I just wanted to make that clear so we all got a clear understanding where I'm about to do, what I'm about to say, and where I'm about to go. If you got an issue, figure it out. How to make yourself better. Period. I'm done. That's all I wanted to say for that part. So friends and family. I used to get being myself and being a people pleaser mixed up, right? See, naturally I'm goofy and outgoing, but then I found myself acting and being a part of things only because people wanted me to act a certain way. Friends and family members wanted a show instead of just Brian, right? See, friends and family are supposed to understand when you want to change for the better, right? They're supposed to understand and respect decisions made by you to do better, so you yourself can grow as a person, but not nowadays. Family and our so-called friends, I should really say some so-called family members, right? So-called family and our so-called friends will lift you up when you up and when it makes them look good. But as soon as you let them down, or you disagree with them, or you straight out tell them no, or you experience life or even change, they drive you deeper into the ground. And then you ask yourself, where's that support at? How about that pick me upper? How about that check-in call? No one is calling you during the struggle. Sit back. Sit back and think about it. All right. If you got some good ones calling you through the struggle, keep them. Make sure you hold on to them. Them are your aces right there. But I can tell you right now, most family and friends, if you out of sight, you out of mind. Unless you built like the old school call you, hey baby, how you doing? I'm just thinking about you. I'm praying for you, right? But nowadays, that don't exist. That don't exist, right? For me, sometimes behind the smile, right, was a little bit of loneliness because I knew this was all a show or a power move on their behalf. But I mentioned my go-to at the beginning of the show, and that's the man upstairs, right? And here again is a situation where I had to better myself and do what's best for me. Like, I love my family. I love my family, and I really do have some good friends out there. I don't want to stamp a tag on all my friends, right? But I really have some genuine friends, and I love them. I love them like parents, right? And I really love my family. Number one, guys say love everyone, so I try to love everyone, including my haters. I know I try to jump, but I love them too, right? There's purpose for everybody. But my grandparents really installed like that foundation of love for family. So I carry family love very heavy, right? And they were all about keeping family love together. I may not agree or get along with everyone in my family and or friends, but I love them still, right? Some family members and some friends are old school, and they feel like you have to cater to them. And at first, you feel bad, like, dang, like I need to do something. But reality is, no, you don't need to do anything. You sit back and think to yourself, like, that's what the hell I've been doing, right? They've been doing this the whole entire time. You've been catering to them the whole entire time, and that's not going to make you grow, right? You just a puppet. That's the easiest way to say that. You just a puppet, right? So, um, they so used to you moving when they say move, so it became the norm for you, right? At least for me, it became the norm. Brian, I need to do this. I need you to do this. Come over here. Be there. Be this and that. Can you do this? Yes. Everything was a yes. Everything was a yes. I got it. It's cool. I'll be there. No problem. Right? It's not until you take control of your life and you really start to ask and feel, it's not until you take control of your life and you really start to feel where the love comes from. That love has to start from yourself, right? You need self love, and then, you know, you have to love yourself enough to where you can regroup and distance yourself to have a fresh start, right? Because how important is you? How important is your life, right? And as bad as it may hurt, you and the others that's involved in it, you have to do what's best for you. Um, if they are real and you know they understand it, they'll be with you 100%, right? They'll do their part in being a loving family member or a true friend. It's amazing how folks act like you don't exist when you decide to change for you. I also like when you in your own little world, and you get a random text from a family member or friend asking questions on your life or questioning you. I'm just gonna say, if I haven't spoken to you along this journey of mine through the process, because I really think that friends and family should be with you through a process. If you care, then I don't owe you an explanation. There's no need to go out my way to tell you how things are going, and that's not to be mean, right? Because as soon as you ask me how it's going, you go into, well, you should be doing this or you should be doing that, and I don't want that conversation. That's not for me and you to have, right? Because you're not a part of my life like that. So again, I love you, but there's a cutoff. It's just the way it is. Can we build that back up? Absolutely, right? But it's how you approach me. It's how you approach anybody to build those relationships back up to where they need to be on better communication standards, right? And then we can talk about it, right? You can be a part of my life in that aspect of things. But if we're not on that right now, it don't make no sense for me to go on my way to jump back into something that you don't have nothing to do with, right? That's just how I think. That's how I think. Um, it's folks. This is truly about me, right? And you have to make decisions in life not caring. You have to. You can't care what somebody else thinks or says when you're trying to change to better you, right? Again, my podcast, my rules, my life, right? And the people that's listening to this, just transpose that and put it in your own perspective. It's your life. You have your own story. You got your own story to tell. You got a life to grow and build from, right? You have to make changes in order for you to reach the next level. Otherwise, people will praise you while you up, but as soon as you come down, you don't mean nothing. Because that's the way we build these people. Our society suck. That's the way people are nowadays, right? Friends and family. So, there's a couple things I just want to touch on a little bit today, right? And basically, out of all of this, man, I just wanted to let you know, like, real life situations, they really do suck, right? And people, you can't run away from it, right? I use this platform to kind of just speak, and sometimes just hearing myself, I can get choked up on these topics a lot of times because I struggle, and I've struggled with some of these topics and scenarios and situations, right? But this is therapeutic for me to be able to just express myself, right? And I do joke and play. This is one of those episodes which was kind of serious moment, right? And it was more personal than anything, right? But I can 100% tell you that I have spoken no lie today about discussing these topics, right? And granted, these are opinionated thoughts from me, right? But they are my own true feelings towards these topics that I discuss, right? You can't please everybody, right? Definitely don't bash everybody. It's just not worth it. I used to always want to retaliate when people done me wrong. Like, I still could retaliate. I still could. If I wanted to bury people, meaning like information wise, like, that's not who I am though. And I'm not gonna be out here trying to tear somebody down. If you growing, I want to continue to build you up. I just want that in return though. If you see me trying to grow, build me up. Right? If you're gonna be a true friend, come on. I see what you're trying to do. I'll support you. Right? That's love, man. It's real love. And that's all I can ask for. If you decide you don't want to, cool. Disappear without a trace. We good. No judging, right? But just be real about it, right? I'd rather you just be real about it. Don't be fake, right? If you're going to be a real friend, be a real friend. Tell that friend how you really think. We see so many people from time to time smile in one person's face, hang out with people all day long, and then talk behind their back 20 minutes after they take a little break or go to the bathroom, and then come right back like, oh, hey, how you doing? Come on, man. That's horrible. That's horrible. You know how many times we go on social media and we see people hanging out, group pictures, doing this and doing that. And then the day before, you was just talking to somebody else about how much you hate hanging out with this person. Or what their kids is like, or how their family is, or blah, 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 blah. And you just smiling in their face. I don't know. I don't need it. So I'd rather just be by myself and grow from there. So, but you guys get what I'm saying, right? You guys get what I'm saying. So I hope you got something out of this. And again, I put myself out here a little bit, but that's okay. That's what this is all about. And I got so much respect for the people in my life that matters. That I don't care what anybody else think. I really don't. It don't matter to me. I know what I have to do. I know how I have to grow, and I'll continue to strive forward and do so, right? That's just the way it is. But that's enough rambling for right now. It's my time. I know it's a little late, but today was a pretty cool episode. And thanks for the people who joined in and was watching. So I appreciate you listening today. Again, I hope you got something out of this. And I hope you can take some of these things into consideration, right? And for those who felt offended by today's topic, pray it over, and maybe a self-check is needed for you as I work on my own issues, right? It's your boy B Jennings. And I'm gonna sign out of here. The question really is, what do you need to do for you, and not what you need to do for somebody else, right? What do you need to do for you, and not what you need to do for somebody else. That other part don't matter. Once you start working on you, everything else will fall in place. All right. It's your boy. Listen, I like to leave you guys with my favorite quote. And as many of you guys know, like, I'm a musician. I love music. And I'm a drummer. All right. But I try to sing when I can. Right. You can check the rest out on my YouTube page. I'm also going to post this on my blog. And I'll post the blog website on my page too as well. I just started the blog, and I'm gonna post all my podcast episodes on the blog too. It's really cool. It's the Real You blog 2025. So I want to make sure you guys tap into that a little bit. Is really dope. And same thing, we just express on there. Please comment on there, check it out, and let me know how you feel about it. All right, guys, I really appreciate it. My favorite quote is, all the world needs is real people and music. It's your boy B Jennings, man. I'm signing out. Be blessed. Peace.